Welcome everyone to Court of the Rings on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I am Lotro's Community Manager, Cordovan, and I'm going to be here for the next hour answering some questions. We're going to be getting into a little bit of the topics of the week, including, that one. I'm going to have time to answer your questions and do things like that. I'm also just going to be running submissions and also going through, say, some of our events calendar, talk a little bit about some of the bonuses and other things that we are working on, including we had a Bull Roar preview and some other things. We even had some PvMP stuff this week. So how cool is that, everyone? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you being here. Heading into, for some of us, a 3-day weekend. I myself, unless me saying this causes the opposite to be true, I technically have Monday off of work, and that's kind of nice. So if that is you as well, I hope you make the best of it. I think I'll be playing video games. Otherwise, I would just mention that we did, I'm going to take care of this orc and then get to it. We did update our event schedule for the entirety of 2021. What we know, you know, as of now. So let me just real quick bring that up on XSplit and show it to you. Alright, so you can see we've got most of the entire year. There are still some gaps in it. Our current thinking is those gaps sure seem like a place maybe we could do some encores, but we don't actually have any encores currently scheduled. This weekend is a 25% crafting XP boost. I have opted to include our Loot Box Embers Moats bonuses, even if they're not necessarily the most welcome bonus to all parts of the internet. I think there maybe is value for those who do actually want it, so that is why that is on the schedule. You can find out when Hobnanigans is. I also believe we are missing 2 Hobnanigans events, so we're going to be perhaps even doubling up on events. That would be my suggestion. And adding a couple more Hobnanigans throughout the year. You can see when the anniversary is going to start. That'll be 4/21/21 at 10 a.m. Eastern. I believe we should still be -5 GMT at that point, I think, right? Anyway. You can find out when the Spring Festival is. That is 3/18 to 4/7, etc., etc. And that is over on the Lotro forums. So, there you go. As long as we're talking news here a little bit, let me pop up another couple of pages. We did have an update to the Lotro market this week. We had been saying for a while that, we're shifting over to the new Lotro market. And part of that work finally took place this past week with the removal of our old packages from the older Lotro market. And shifting some new packages over to the new Lotro market. The number of things we offer in the new Lotro market will be expanding, both in the short term and in the medium term. We also have medium to, well, as soon as we can get it done, we want to offer things like gifting and a few other things. We also do intend to bring back some of the expansions under new bundles and different bundles. I believe in a few cases they may just kind of carry over, but for the most part they will at least be remade versions of the old thing. We have the expansion Shirov and a new version of the starter bundle available as well. So that happened this week and is worth bringing up. And then finally, I wanted to... Well, actually, I guess not quite finally. I have two things I wanted to bring up here. The first one, let's just get to it, right? And I'm going to put my camera back on just so that... I don't know why. Because I hate myself. There we go. Hi, everyone. I'm on the internet. There we go. We had a pretty controversial statement this week that we gave out. We knew it was going to not be real popular, of course, which is why we wanted to get the word out early to give people an opportunity to do whatever perhaps farming they felt necessary between now and next week. But these are some nerfs that we have been needing to do for a while, but nobody likes to do nerfs up to and including us. And so the time came that we were like, no, we actually really need to do this. Okay, well, let's get the word out. And that is what happened this week. So we got the word out. And the reaction was very strong and much appreciated. And we took it to heart, and we have made some changes. So the only thing I don't like about me putting up this stuff on here is I don't believe I have a way to zoom it in for you, unfortunately. So we are making a change with small reputation acceleration tomes, bartered from skirmish vendors. We will be removing any max level limits on these tomes, but we do want to make the acquired tomes bind. So, after 28.3, small reputation acceleration tomes bartered from skirmish vendors will be bound to account on acquire. No other changes. We recognize there are significant reputation grinds throughout the game, for example with crafting guilds, where these scrolls are beneficial, and limiting acquisition by player level is not needed. Regarding Scrolls of Empowerment, we really do want to make the process of acquiring these scrolls more varied and meaningful at a given end game, but we also want the acquisition process to be appropriate to the level of the content. We'll be fixing a math error. Yeah, you guys just were like, wait a second, what about the... And we were like, oh. Regarding how we set tier limits on scrolls from Gondor, which makes them largely useless for imbued items unless your character is on a legendary world with a level cap below 115. We also intend to address a gap in available scrolls for solo landscape players at level caps 105, 115, and 120. So, our current 28.3 plans for Scrolls of Empowerment. Scrolls available to barter from the Dol Amroth Quartermaster will cap at max tier 44. This content predates imbuement. Scrolls of Empowerment bartered from Rangers of Athelion Quartermaster will cap at 59 max tier. From Narnaeth and Minas Tirith, it'll cap at 59. Scrolls with a max tier of 59 will be added to daily and weekly quests on the Quartermaster Host of the West. Scrolls with max tier 69 will be added to Restoring the Three Kingdoms quest in Northern Mirkwood. Scrolls of Empowerment with a max tier 79 will be added to the Protecting the Beornings, Elves, and Woodmen quests in Vales of Anduin. The quest March on Gundabad Additional Steps Daily will award 2 Scrolls of Empowerment with a max tier cap of 83. The quest War Effort Threats to the Battlefield will award 3 Scrolls of Empowerment with a max tier cap of 83. Regarding vendors for Threshold Raid Jewelry, yes, we will be adding those with appropriate deed gating on barter, hopefully in time for 28.3, which is currently scheduled for somewhere around the middle of next-ish week. And Guardians, I just wanted to say Tiber over on the systems team just reiterated that, yes, they have been getting your feedback on Guardians and Runekeepers, and do want to do something about it, which is, what I've been saying for a while here, but is a plan that they do intend to address. And there was one follow-up, I guess, that I could mention as well, and that is that Anphilis Scrolls of Empowerment without tier caps will continue to be available from a variety of level scaling and group content sources, such as featured instances, epic battles, skirmish, PvMP, gift givers, brand barter, and other 3 and 6 player instance chests, as well as raid chests. So hopefully that provides some clarity here, and I'm not sure if there's any other. We will be increasing physical and tactical mastery values on the legendary item titles across all tiers. That was response to some of the recent changes we had made. A couple of minor quest changes. General ratings for creeps has been toned down slightly to bring them more in line with the average Freep player until we can address Freep gearing in the moors. Yeah, general ratings, just going down a bit to address that. That's part of the work that we had been putting in place to allow us to more granularly control that stuff. And some of that work will be in next week's patch. We're also going to be doing some, fingers crossed here, very significant work regarding patching via the launcher. Assuming everything goes well, patching will be much, much faster. Much, much faster. Much faster. Especially when you haven't played in a long time. I hope this works. This is one of those things where we've been able to make some hopefully significant progress. Not that it was terrible or anything before, but it was kind of a limited gated experience before, gated for a variety of reasons that were required at the time of their gating, but now it is 2021 and we have more bandwidth now. And so we're going to be passing those savings along to you, as it were, and opening up the patching to be much, much faster. So, and then finally, we do have the first of what could be some significant client performance updates. This is going to relate to targeting. That will be helpful during raids. So targeting is what is being improved. One of the things about it is that even if you are like, well, I target things just fine. I push the button and the thing targets. Yes, but it's obviously a very complex system that interacts with a lot of other complex systems. And we have found what we believe may be the first of a couple of fairly significant performance improvements there. So I'm not going to say got it. There is no magic bullet. There is no magic bullet. There will always be lag. I'm sorry. There will always be lag. We found a couple of things so that we are hopeful will make a difference here, and that will be released in the near future. So hopefully that is good news to you. I believe that items acquired before the update, my belief is that they will retain their current binding status. I believe. I hope I'm not wrong there. 50-50 chance to get that one right. All right. Any details on which tier the Amdan Demul barterers are gated? Yes, I went through that, right? Okay. Can I confirm Scrolls from other sources are unaffected? Yeah, based on what Tiber just said there. Within the parameters of that, yes. Control and Plus will increase browser font size. Okay, good. Thank you, Martina. What are my thoughts on having a calendar-style event schedule, like a Google Calendar? I'm not opposed to that. The V-Bulletin actually has the calendar functionality in it, but it's not great. I used to, back when I was first hired in 2010, it was actually partially, I was there to maintain it on the DDO side. And so I'm very familiar with the vBulletin calendar software that we use for DDO and Lotra.com, and it's not great. It's kind of bad, actually. And it didn't get used very much by the community or by us, frankly, because it wasn't worth the work. Um, but I'm certainly not opposed to some kind of calendar, almost like kind of a Lotro artist style thing, but for our bonuses. That would be cool. I will put that on I will pin that to a virtual tack board here for possible future tasks for 2021. That is not a bad idea. I don't know that I would want to or that it would be okay to use Google Calendar specifically, but it seems like there might be something we could do there that would be within things that we could do. Do I get extra credit if I work on non-work days? No, no, I am salaried. I don't get to I don't get overtime. Is this the I don't know what this is related to. Someone on Twitch says, "Is this the Lotro stream opinion?" Yes. Just to be clear, I do speak on behalf of Standing Stone Games and the Lotro development team, but any kind of opinion I say, I try not to say too many opinions, frankly, but any opinions I say would be generally from me unless I'm sourcing it directly from the team. And I also am the person actually saying the thing out loud, so, you know, I am human. I can mess up too. Yeah, I know. You do it all the time. Yeah, alright. Any little information about Update 29? Also, hey, Kales. Not today, but that is on our agenda as well. One of the big kind of bullet points we're working on in the short term here is our producer's letter and finalizing any pieces of our 2021 roadmap that need to be finalized before we could say, tell them to you. So there we go. I actually would love to talk off topic about my PS5 experience so far, but I don't want to do that in the middle of the show here. At the very end of the show, once we've kind of gone through everything, if I remember to do that, I'd be happy to do that. So I don't know if Bay Earnings will be getting heavy armor scaling gear. Okay, let me head on over to YouTube here quick. Can I get in the process of in-game cutscenes, and why are there so few? They are a lot of production work to put together. We love doing them, though, so I would expect us to perhaps do more of that thing in the future. Are these changes in preparation, these changes being about the legendary item or the scrolls of empowerment, the stuff we just talked about, are these changes in prep for more sweeping LI changes that will actually improve things rather than make them way worse? Yes. I don't know that we're going to see, like, a complete burn to the ground overhaul of legendary items in 2021. But I do think that we will be continuing to take a look at legendary items in the future here and try to make improvements of a more public facing nature. You know, things that try to address some of your concerns here. I don't have an ETA to announce, but I do know that that is something we want to do. Am I still playing Dwinstrel? I have not been playing Dwinstrel yet. I've kind of retired that person for now. Will we soon be able to transfer our characters to the active non-legendary worlds away from Anor and Ithil? I have not heard of plans to do that, Brian over on Facebook, but I know that there is interest in us doing that, so perhaps we can bring that up as a topic again here in the near future. I'm scrolling through Facebook chat. Here's a TV history reference for you, Cord. Can I say booger in a live stream? Booger on television. Is that Night Court? Is that Night Court that we're talking about? I don't know. Either way, the first thing that popped in my head was Night Court. I don't know why that would be. I remember that show. My cat is hiding lately. My cat hates to be on camera. I make her be on camera. And for some reason, somehow the cat knows. Well, I think it's not actually that surprising. The cat is very well aware of kind of human reaction and things like that. So that's why they know when you're taking photos and stuff of them. And as soon as a camera comes out, she's like, get away from me. I am not your subject. It's pretty much WKRP. Oh, okay. Why, yes, I do know that show. All right. Will we get a second beta phase to the current build, or will we put it live? The current plan is to put live this week's patch as seen on Bullroar with the changes that we outlined above to Scrolls of Empowerment and Rep Acceleration tomes. And I believe some PVMP kind of tweaking, balance tweaking, based on the feedback we received from Bullroar this week. So I would say mostly, but a little bit post Bullroar is what we have currently planned to release. Something like middle of next week. Is the PS5 version already in the works? No. Bjorn, you are making the PS5 version of Locho? Yes, I'm here to announce that I personally, Cordovan, am making the entirety of the PlayStation. No, I'm kidding. I know what you meant. No, actually. I mean, no. Any kind of word as to that project will almost certainly not be coming from me off the cuff on a live stream. Hopefully. Unless I want to get in trouble and probably make a big mistake. Which, you know, hey, I wouldn't put that past me. But no, for the most part, I will, you know, I think it is unlikely that that level of large corporate news would be appropriate to be coming from me based on a kind of a Q&A on the Friday Twitch show. Actually, I would say this as well. Me personally owning a PlayStation 5 and getting a launch console and doing all the kind of lucky circumstances that I found myself in order to secure a console in the middle of a pandemic that pretty much no one else was able to get, is simply a reflection of me being an absolute video game nerd. And someone who has put an awful lot of money in Sony's pocket over since like 1995. So I think that's why I got the chance. But it's not at all. It's coincidental to the news that came as part of the EG7 acquisition. Let me heal up a second here. You keep hearing rumors about server merging again. Is this something that is being considered, or are there plans for marketing advertising to bring more folks in? A couple of questions there, actually. So, a couple of different topics. So, any rumors about a server merge are just that. I have heard no internal discussion about a server merge. Yeah. Period. End of sentence. I'm not saying we'd never do it. You know, the last time it came up was, I believe, our public chat, during PAX East and things like that. And that's not to say that there has never been talk. You know, of course, you're going to talk about that stuff as part of your business discussions. But we certainly do not have any announced plans to do anything like that. And I have not heard of any plans to do anything like that in the near future. So I would firmly say that any rumors to the contrary that you may be heard from someone in-game are simply that. Nope, no plans for European servers. Sorry. What is SSG business strategy? No, I'm not getting into that. Sorry. Well, let me put out the PowerPoint. No. That's, sorry. So, Bjorn is saying it wasn't hard to get a PS5 if you pre-ordered. It was. Also, I got it from Sony Direct. Where am I headed? There we go. Oh, there you are. Good time for that. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. I actually think a Sarah Oakart video game would be pretty cool. I bet you could do a really great video game playing as Sarah Oakart. Okay. Can we get Game Master server events back? We would not be opposed to doing that. But I think the days of sort of just GMs going around in the game world, I don't really see us doing a lot of that in the near future. Actually, I think I need to pick this up. Oh no, I am slightly suboptimal. All right. Well, I was actually thinking more like the story of Sarah Oakheart. I think is actually a very good story. And what could, if you were doing, let's just say, kind of like an Uncharted Tomb Raider style, over the shoulder, third person produced, big budget Sarah Oakheart game? If I could snap my fingers and make that happen, I think that would be a very cool game. I would say leading up to. I don't want to say the question because it might be too spoilery. But the answer is leading up to. So any update on the producer's letter? Only that it is a near top of the list bullet point for us, and is something that we are actively working to do. Additionally, top of the line bullet point for me personally, I forgot to mention this in recent weeks, I owe you all a soundtrack on YouTube, and that is something for both games, frankly, and that is something that I intend to address in the near future. So, as soon as I have something to pass along there, I will. But I am actually expecting to get a couple of soundtracks, one on the DDO side, one on the Lotra side, out within the next week. And I know that I've been promising that since, like, what, mid-November? But the holidays hit and I simply ran out of time. And then the holidays ended and the new year started and I simply have not had time. But I am making time. And so that'll be out within the next week or so. Additionally, I wanted to call out that I have been working quite a bit on Extra Life. Just in recent days, it took a lot of work. It took a ridiculous amount of work to hit inbox 0 on both games here, but as of last night, I am officially inbox 0 for the Lord of the Rings Online forums. That means that all the Extra Life stuff that I know about is done. That means if you don't have something for me for Extra Life, please get in touch with me. And I'm sorry, it's probably my fault, but I don't have your stuff. I would be happy to get it to you at any point, really, that you want to get back in touch with me. I have the record of you making the donation, so that's not the issue. The issue is I mailed you and you never got it, or something. Or I thought I mailed it to you and then I didn't, or something like that. So please do reach out to me if I still need to help you with something Extra Life or Movember related, please. So if I can get that soundtrack work out, and the Extra Life stuff largely wrapped up outside of a few kind of one-offs and thing. A couple of people I owed old visits to that I'd be happy to take care of in 2021. And with the publication of the event schedule, finally, I am, I think, largely caught up on the year and in a fairly decent position to move forward on some other things, like the producer's letter, which isn't, I don't write the producer's letter, right? It's from the producer. But I'm involved. And that kind of letter, of course, has to go through all sorts of channels and get signed off on by all sorts of people. That's why it takes 2 hours to write, 2 weeks to get out. It's not being generous at 2 weeks. 2 months to get out in 2020. Yeah. Who is my boss? My boss would be Severlin. But we don't tend to, at SSG, have a lot of kind of corporate boss minion structure. Most of us are pretty flat in terms of our skill level and titling across the studio. And the reason for that is many of us are very long time members of the various teams that we work for. So the result of that, since we started with SSG, is we tend to have... It's not that people don't have bosses and we don't have a full corporate kind of reporting roster and all that. But in practice, our decision-making tends to be a little less top-down and a little more collaborative. And I think many of us like it that way. But for matters of, let's say, discipline, or if I screw up, or if something I do needs to be addressed, right? Then that's probably where it would come from. Marillion has a critical question, which is that if the aim is to make scroll acquisition more level appropriate, why is currently the best source of scrolls a level 105 raid? So I think that you would find that we tend to probably agree. And part of the work that we're doing here is to hopefully address some of those long-standing issues and get that stuff taken care of in a way that is better long-term. So this is the first step, and one that, like I said earlier, we've felt that we needed to do for some time. And are finally doing that. But that isn't the be-all and end-all of any of this work, right? So it will be an ongoing process of improvement, hopefully, to address some of your concerns about where you get scrolls. We want to make... the main thing is we want it to be relevant content. We don't really like that your folks felt compelled to do older quests like that. And I know that, we knew that the acquisition rate was obviously going to be controversial. We knew that what we were doing was a nerf, because it's a nerf. But sometimes, like it or not, you have to nerf something. Especially if all evidence is pointing that, hey, no, you actually have to do this. It took us a while to get to the point of pulling the trigger on it, so to speak, which is why we are doing it now. But we are going to be making some changes here, and that's one of them. Making sure that you enjoy the content that you're getting these scrolls from is another one of the goals that we have. And also making sure that we don't have things like the best is a 105 raid. is also on our list of things to do. Additionally, that's not even including all the other LI work that is expected to be done and that needs to be done. Groovy. Yeah, no, I didn't actually need to kill any of them. I'm just kind of messing around, showing off stuff, and killing time while I answer questions. I could have just... But also, I didn't want to get into a situation where if I needed a backup to get healing, then all of a sudden I had a whole bunch of other mobs on me. So I know I didn't technically have to. That said, I chose to. And I stand by my choice, incompetent though it may be. Stream is lagging. I actually know why that is. I forgot to set it back to 720p streaming. I'm currently streaming in 1020, which is good. But streaming in 1020 to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch from my house is asking a lot of my home internet in a way that is perhaps not... is going to lead to some stuttering, I think, on the Twitch and YouTube side. Facebook tends to handle it just fine. I don't know what secret sauce they have going on, but they tend to have really good bandwidth for a 1080p stream. I'm not sure how they do it. Twitch isn't doing it, and neither is YouTube. So, I'm not quite sure how that's working, but... They got that Zuckerberg money. Well, I guess that's how it gets fixed. I also, yes, Phil, over on Twitch has mentioned a service called Restream. I am well aware of that service. That's something I actually do want to look into. I'm not sure, because I do have to make this an SSG license stream, right? That I would have to actually get a license, and sometimes that stuff can be process intensive. But I would like to check into something like a Restream as well. I think that would allow me to do the 1080p that I'd like to do. I've been doing some just personal channel YouTube and Twitch stuff, and when I do that, I want to make sure I'm in 1080p. But when I'm doing this show, I have just found it just solves a whole bunch of problems if I just kick it down to 720p, which is pretty good. But we are moving into worlds of 4K, as it were, so... I've been kind of trying to... Sorry, I've been kind of trying to figure out how to do that. You're right, I do need to download more internet. Yeah. Yeah, I need to download, like, twice as much internet. That would be just fine. Yes, I would like twice the internet, please. Can you deliver it to my house? No, unfortunately. How has my scroll farming gone? It hasn't. I don't do that kind of thing. That's not to say I won't do some scroll farming in the future, but honestly, I just... There are all sorts of furious stream watchers from both games out there over the years who were like, how can you just not? How is it you just don't do these things? And you just won't? It's like, well, because I don't. I'm not saying it ever will. I'm certainly not doing it anytime soon. Not quite sure what's going on here. I think we have a... Actually, it could be an issue with my home internet, too. I lost internet for about an hour yesterday. So it could be there's some work related to that going on. Well, it is 1 o'clock here, too. Maybe I should... I think my... Oh, gosh, am I even... You said I've got some streaming lag, and now I've got some in-game lag. I bet my internet's kind of going out. I better end the stream before it comes to an abrupt end. This'll work. Hi, everyone. All right. We do one last quick pass. If we nerf Throne, then we need to do something to replace it. I would assume that is true. That is what we would do. I have not heard of any plans to do ray tracing. I have not heard of plans to offer a local Brazilian currency. I apologize. No Guardian or Burglar news outside of what was said by Tiber on the forums this week. We have not disclosed the main stat for the Brawler class. It's going to be... Probably might. Why is there only a single buried treasure event in 2021? Good point. We will take that under advisement, Stefan. That sounds like something we should add a couple more. All right, and I am caught up on Facebook chat. Let me catch up on YouTube chat. What happened to my YouTube chat? There we go. Might be nice to farm scrolls to see what the player base goes through. Yeah, no, I mean, yes. I have actually done that. And you're correct that is something that is, quote, part of my job. To have some understanding of what the community is telling us in regards to feedback for things like scroll farm and the grind. And when we get into discussions where the input of community and things like that are brought up, then that is the kind of thing I very much do mention. Very much. All right, and let me pass through Twitch chat quick. Yeah, I've heard that Restream consolidates chat channels as well. That's another reason I'd kind of like to look into it. I just don't know what their corporate license structure is like, and before I could do something like that, I'm going to need to submit a proposal, as it were, and go through the process. So... PS5 question from earlier, and also, how's the tree? The Christmas tree is packed away, and that sounds good. Just real quick, I did get a launch day PS5, and I've been using it ever since. I've had no hardware problems at all, no need for customer support at all on the thing, so I'm happy to report that the thing has been rock solid. It hasn't overheated. It's quiet, unlike the PS4. And I've had some good fun with it. 4K is great. Having all the video services and that in one place is great. I'm really... It's it's going to be the main driver of most of my not on the computer entertainment content for probably the next 5 to 10 years. The controller rules. The DualSense is great, in my opinion. And I am looking forward to the news that came from the EG7 acquisition personally. But I will not be in a position, almost certainly, to say word one about it on Court of the Rings here, which you have just gotten done watching. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. I will see you in 1 week. We have got the Tolkien Professor up next, followed by Druid's Fire, and you can find the full schedule over on twitch.tv/LotraStream. Thank you so much for being here. Let me close with one more thought. I actually got a email from Twitch, kind of a year in review for LotraStream, and it looks like we broadcast more than 1,300 hours of Lotra content to this channel on Twitch in the year 2020. So, although there are plenty of gaps where there is not content going on, if you divide 365 by 1,300, that means we've got at least a couple hours generally every single day that you can watch if you would like to. Streamers who do PvP, streamers who raid, streamers who do instances, streamers who flower sniff, music, and more. Speaking of music, Winterstock 8 is this weekend. Winterstock 8 is this weekend. Congratulations to all bands. Good luck, everybody. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to find the stream for that over on Druid's Fire's channel. It's not going to be on LotraStream this year, mostly due to some of the concerns over Twitch and music in 2020 here. So that's going to be on Druid's Fire's channel, but that's going on this weekend, and it's going to be a really good time. So good luck, everyone. Have fun, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.